I'm just starting off by taking my vertical measurement. I'm marking the bust length, the waist length, the hip length, and the length of the dress. That is my desired length. I'm just going to do the same at the other end of the paper so I can connect the points. My bust length is 10, my waist length is 16, the hip length I'm using 25, and for the base of the dress I'm using 35. The next thing I'm doing right now is I'm connecting the points together to make straight lines, connecting the points with straight lines. Drawing out my waist length, the hip length, and the base of the dress, that is the dress length. I'm just drawing out the neckline. I'm doing a 3x3 neckline. The width of the neckline is 3 and the length is 3. So I'm just making my points to draw a box. This will guide me in making my neckline. We are making a round neck for this pattern, so I'm just using my curve right now to make my curve for our round neck. Now that is done, I'm going to go ahead to mark a point for my shoulder. I'm using 14 to get your shoulder. My shoulder is 14, and I divide that by 2, which is 7. So that is the point I marked there. Next thing, I went down by 1 inch on the shoulder. I went down by 1 inch. I'm going to be connecting that 1 inch to the neckline. This will serve as my shoulder slant. What I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to mark a point for my chest line, which I'm going to be using as my chest line. So to get your chest line, you divide your bust circumference by 6 and you add 1.5 to it. So that's the line. I'm just drawing that line out to further guide me. Right now, I'm also taking my shoulder measurement, that is my shoulder divided by 2. I'm taking my shoulder measurement at the chest line. So I'm just marking 7. And I'm connecting that to my shoulder measurement at the top. To my shoulder point at the top. I'm just connecting that. Right now, I'm dividing that line in two. I divide that line in 2. So I'm making a point. From that point, I'm going to go in by 0.5 inch. So I make that point. The next thing I'm doing right now is I'm just taking my round measurements. So I'm starting with the waist. So your waist circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch. Remember, we are going to have a dart there. So that 1 inch is serving as our dart. The next thing, I'm taking my hip round measurement, that is your hip circumference divided by 4. So I'm taking that same measurement down to the base of the dress, but I'm subtracting 1 inch from it. This is so as to give us a pencil effect for the dress, to make it, to shape out the dress. The next thing is I'm just taking my bust measurement, my bust round measurement, that is my bust round, my bust circumference divided by 4. So I'm just making my mark there. I'm just making a point there. So right now I'm just connecting the points all together. The chest line to the waistline or to the hip line. I'm just connecting that. And the hip line to the base of the dress. Now that that is done, I'm just using my curve to further blend in those sharp edges. As you all know, we don't have any sharp edges in the human body, so I'm just blending that with my curve. Next thing I'm doing right now is I'm drawing out my armhole curve. I'm just using my curve to further guide me, connecting that through. You can see it's also touching the 0.5 inch we marked inward earlier, so I use that as a guide. Next thing is I'm going to be drawing out my dart, that is your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So mine is 8 divided by 2, it gave me 4. So I'm just marking 0.5 inch to the left and to the right. As you all know, our dart is 1 inch, so we're going to share that 0.5 to the both sides. So right now I'm just making my points all around. So I'm going to be going down from my bust line by 1 inch. Our dart is going to be starting from there. It's not reaching the bust line. For our dart, I'm going down from the waist by 4 inches. So I'm just making my mark there. So I'm also taking the nipple to nipple measurement over there. This is to further guide me. So right now I'm just connecting the points to draw out my dart. So that's about that. Our dart is ready. So I'm just showing you right now, this is our front pattern. I'm just showing you how to cut out your pattern. So I'm just cutting around the armhole area, the shoulder, the neckline. I'm just cutting out our round neckline, and I'm just trimming out the sides. Before that, you can go ahead and add your allowance to the sides if you wish to, but for this pattern I'm just going to add the allowance on the fabric directly. But you can go ahead and add your allowance to those places to make it much easier while cutting on the fabric. Well, that's all. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the post notification bell to be alerted when we post a new video.